Hey folks, I'm Michael and welcome back to the channel. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of awful stories. Let's dive into the first post made in the True Off My Chest subreddit, titled, "Did I mess up by dating another woman after my wife broke up with me by giving back her rings?" Basically, my wife, I guess not anymore, but I will come to that. And I had a few very serious fights in the past that went from bad to worse. A little over a year ago, we had our first son. We were, of course, very happy, but with all of the stress, I also moved back to my wife's home country, from the Netherlands to Mexico, so we could get better support. We had fights, but we always managed to fix them. Now, around 3 weeks ago, I was taking care of our son the whole day. I was feeling a bit ill as well. He was also feeling sick. Apparently, he had Coxsackie. He had a high fever. My wife has her own business from home. Anyway, I asked her quite calmly if she could help out for 5 minutes. My wife had a tantrum, shouted that she was tired of me, and slammed the door with our son in her arms. 20 minutes later, she fed our son. I asked her, "What was that about? I am with our son all day. You helping out while he has a fever is too much to ask." She then shouted at me that she does not love me anymore, that her mother also hates me, and so on. She has told me that she does not love me many times. This time, it just hurt so much more for some reason. Also, because of the fights, we tried couples counseling for over 3 months, which seemed to help a bit. This made me furious. I had never been this furious in my whole life. I slammed the door of the house and walked away. I slammed it so hard that the lock is now broken. I headed to the clubhouse. We live in a gated community, still angry. Someone asked me super happily how I was. Wrong time, buddy. I went to the toilet and with one punch destroyed a mirror, then proceeded on a trash bin. Meanwhile, my wife had been texting my mom trying to get her on her side. My mom did not like that at all and defended me the whole way. My wife gave up. I decided to find a hotel for the night. For the next 3 days, we did not text at all. On the second day, she finally texted me to ask if I was okay. I had enough of her behavior. I had been texting with my parents and they were willing to pay for a plane ticket for me to fly back home. Only one problem. I would never abandon my own son. My own dad did this. I would not repeat this mistake. I decided to try the third option, find my own place. That was very easy. Within a week, I found my own house. At first, my wife understood, then she was like, "You figure it out yourself." Then she changed her mind again, helping me with the guarantee, then again changed her mind and said, "Do your own laundry, you are not getting anything from me." Then, once I got the contract and everything settled, I moved in, still visiting my son at agreed hours daily, helping babysit so my wife could do other things. I was totally fine with that, also helping out financially. Suddenly, 4 days ago, she came to my house. Out of nowhere, she said she could not continue and gave me her wedding and engagement ring. I was destroyed, yet I still showed up to take care of my son. After that, my wife was very kind to me. We hugged a bit, but that was it. For New Year's, we had dinner together. 2 days ago, I met this woman, very kind, and we vibed very well. I was going to tell her about my situation, but not after the first date. Today, we had a nice dinner together and got to know each other. Well, guess what? My wife actually got food for me and left it at my door. But she was also waiting in her car when the woman and I got to my place, started filming us, and accused me of cheating. She forced herself inside, and the other woman basically ran away. My wife started destroying stuff, crying and screaming. When she left, she hit me a few times as well. She said she will contact her lawyer and threatened that I will never see my own son. I feel stupid, destroyed, and hurt beyond imagination. Yes, we were on paper still together, but in real life, the relationship stopped when she gave me the rings. I told her this. She said that she wanted me to fight for her. Hippo Fuzz said, "You both sound like 15-year-olds. Baldo Jess said, "Your situation is a huge mess, obviously, but I just wanted to point out another extremely shitty thing you did, not telling that other woman your situation. That is not something that is okay to wait to disclose, in my opinion. It is extremely manipulative." The second story for today was made in the True Off My Chest subreddit. The post is titled, "My late best friend's daughter just asked me to walk her down the aisle and I can't stop crying. My childhood best friend died 17 years ago in a car accident. We were closer to each other than we were to our own brothers. He had an 8-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son at the time, and they were both my godchildren. After he died, I stepped up for them and was there for every big moment, and they loved me and called me uncle. Even when their mom remarried a different man, I was still very much involved in their lives, but I never expected anything like what happened next. His daughter is now 25 years old and she is getting married next May. Last night she called me and asked to have lunch with me, and of course I accepted. She told me she wanted me to walk her down the aisle. I could not believe it and kept asking if she was joking, and she said no. She said that both she and her dad would not want any other man to do it, and I just broke down crying and hugged her. I told her I love her very much and that she and her brother are like my own children and that I love them both, and that I would be honored to walk her down on her big day. I do not have any daughters of my own, just 3 boys, so this is probably my only time ever walking a bride down the aisle, and I could not be any happier. I actually drove to her dad's grave after we left and just sat there and cried and said I wished he was here to see her. I legitimately could not be any happier right now. Okay, this actually made my eyeballs wet. This is the good stuff. OP didn't have to show up, he chose to, for 17 years. Through remarriage, stepfathers, all of it. And now his goddaughter is telling him she wants him at the altar, not some blood relative, not her stepdad. That's earned trust. The fact that he drove to her dad's grave after and cried, that's a man who actually lived up to what it means to be family. Not by biology, by showing up when it mattered. He gets to walk her down the aisle knowing he was the one who stayed. Her dad would know that too. This third and final story was made in the relationship subreddit. The post is titled, "I married off without consent, don't want to stay in it. How do I talk to my parents about divorce?" I'm a 24-year-old woman from California. When I was 23, my parents arranged a marriage for me without telling me, to a 27-year-old man in India. We've now been married for about a year. Growing up in the United States, I always believed I'd choose who I would marry, someone I liked, felt emotionally connected to, and saw a future with. So it was incredibly disorienting when my parents decided everything for me behind my back. When I told my friends, most of them said, maybe try to make it work. So I did. I genuinely tried. But a year in, I don't feel anything for him, and I honestly don't think I ever will. I've put in the effort, but nothing has changed. I'm not happy. Meanwhile, I see my friends dating people they actually like and choosing their relationships, and while I'm happy for them, it's also painful. I want that too, but instead I feel stuck with someone I didn't choose and don't feel connected to. I've talked about this with my therapist. She told me, it sounds like you know this relationship isn't right for you. You've tried. It's okay to talk to your parents about divorce. And I agree with her. I know I don't want to stay in this. The problem is I have no idea how to bring it up again. I tried mentioning it to my mom months ago and it turned into a huge fight. If you're familiar with Indian culture, you know how taboo divorce is, especially for daughters. The fear of being disowned is very real for me. I'm looking for advice from anyone who has dealt with something similar or who has tips on how to approach strict or traditional parents about something like this without it turning into a disaster. I'm scared, but I also know I can't live like this forever.